Welcome to the Refs Need Love To podcast, a show that gives you a real, raw, and behind-the-scenes view of one of the hardest jobs on the pitch, the referee. I'm your host, David Gerson, a grassroots referee with 7 years of experience and over 1,000 matches under my belt. You can find me at refsneedlove2.com and on TikTok, the same name. Today, we are going to explore why anyone in their right mind would want to be a referee. Run around, get yelled at by everyone. It's an impossible job. Here are some of the reasons why I love being a ref. So why do I like being a ref? I have to tell you, the first and probably most important thing for me is the mental challenge and distraction. So I am not a referee as a full-time job. I'm 47, almost 48 years old. I got into refereeing 8 years ago when my son wanted to become a ref. He was 10 years old. He had been playing since he was 3. And, he's just, kind of chip off the old block. He likes being in positions of responsibility. When I was growing up, I probably had every student government job you could possibly have. I was eventually president of my rugby team in college. I'm just a glutton for punishment, but I want things to be my responsibility. And my son seems to want the same type of thing. He wants to be responsible for where he's going in life, and he wanted to get a job at 10 years old, wanted to start earning money. So when he wanted to become a referee, I was like, well, I'll do it too. If I'm going to be driving him to the pitch, I might as well get certified. So I got certified, and we started reffing together. And I can't even get to tell you, how many hundreds, if not thousands of hours, not only have we been on the field together over these 8 years, but just the hundreds upon hundreds of hours of conversations, at home, at the dinner table, on the couch, watching, football or soccer together, seeing a play online and discussing it together. It's been an amazing thing that we've gotten to share together, and I cherish every minute of it. I know for him, it's been an outrageously valuable experience. Certainly being a referee at 10 years old, first starting, doing lines and then possibly refereeing some like U8 games or, U6 little fun recreational matches, and starting to move up to the U12 and U14s as he started getting older, and then having to deal not only with players his own age in having to, call fouls and discipline with cautions or send-offs, but also deal with coaches, who might have been getting out of hand. Unbelievable experience for him, great money, certainly was able to, buy his own iPhone, pay for, gas, as he got a car, pay for, part of his car. So just the things that he wanted to do with his friends, having that money, having that control, and knowing that he's going off to college with, thousands upon thousands of dollars in his bank account that he put there from refereeing, and now he's got another job, is just absolutely wonderful. So I understand for him. But for me, as an adult, why do I do it? I have a full-time job, and I get paid, well. I provide for my family, and I think I'm well compensated at my full-time job, and that job is demanding. I run a large department. I won't go into too much detail of my job, but I've got employees, I've got deadlines, I've got, budgets I've got to, stay within. I've got campaigns I have to run, major, projects, global projects that require me to be up, on a phone call, let's say 5 or 6 a.m. with global colleagues, and then, all the way through the day and the evening into night here in North America. It's a demanding job. So why take on another job that's on my weekends or in my evenings to be a referee, which, as we know, is a thankless job? Generally, if a game has gone well, half the players on the field tolerate you, the other half, think you're awful. That's just the way it is. It's rare that you actually get a thank you. Every now and then you get a real proper, genuine, that was great, thank you so much type of thing. But they're rare. They're notable. That's what I would say, because they happen so rarely. So why choose to do it? I will say for me in particular, the first thing is it is a distraction from the day-to-day. I work in corporate America, and it can be stressful. If I don't have some other hobby going on, then I'm thinking about that my primary job all the time, and that's not good. You get burnt out, you get tired, you get exhausted. You're just for me, I need a break. I need some separation. I need an ability to really clear my head, and I don't have the money to go on vacation every weekend. So for me, my mental vacation is being a referee. That when I get out there on the pitch, that I am 100% focused, if not more than 100% focused for the time that I'm out there on the pitch. And I think that is really, really valuable. Not only to do a great job as a referee, but I feel like it makes me a better professional when I'm, at my office job or when I'm home with my family, that I have this release, if you will, this mental release. It's for me very therapeutic. So it's a distraction, if you will. It's a creative outlet, if you will, which is fabulous. The other thing is that and also still on the mental part, is that it's a mental challenge. That I know that I'll never be perfect as a referee. There is no such thing as perfect. We all know that we've seen referees, Premier League referees, La Liga referees, Bundesliga referees, who, quote unquote, can make a mistake here or there or have a judgment that we don't necessarily agree with. That it's never going to be perfect. You could always strive to be better. The laws of the game, you can read the laws of the game 1,000 times and then you'll find something like, oh man, I didn't see that word in there before. Or you'll read the considerations and you're like, oh gosh, I haven't seen that before. Or there'll be a play that just you've never seen before. And it happens like every single week. There'll be a scenario or a play or an occurrence of events that are like, oh my gosh, I've never seen that before. I find that to be absolutely fascinating, and it keeps me wanting to learn more, to get better. Is just fantastic. I will say kind of a third thing is it's like humbling, right? So I sometimes I feel sometimes like in my job I've been in marketing and product development roles for 27 years or so, and I feel pretty strong as a marketer. I mean, I know there's so much more that I could do without a doubt, but man, there is something about being a referee that just keeps you really, really humble, or a need to be humble, that always striving to do better with our, mechanics, our positioning on the pitch, our communication with the players. It's just a constant reminder for me that you could always do better in everything you could do. You could always give more. You could always do better. You could always learn more. I find it to be a consistently humbling experience, and it's good for my ego to be reminded of that constantly. I find that to be a good thing, good trait to have, to be humble, to not wanting to be the star of the show, to try and help facilitate a great match, a great competitive match to the laws of the game. I think that's fantastic. The fourth thing here, and this is kind of funny. I don't know if other people think about it like this, but I think being a referee, especially in your local area, is a service to your community. Sincerely, as an adult. I know that we came up through our area playing recreational and then academy soccer or football, and I don't really remember the refs that I've had through those years, but man, I should have probably paid more attention to them and made even more of an effort to go out of my way to tell them how much I appreciate what they do. Because I can tell you, I do remember some existences or experiences where we've had subpar referees, and it is painful. It makes it really hard to concentrate on the game of football that we all love if you have someone who just doesn't want to be there, or they just have their hands in their pockets, or they stand in the center circle that just doesn't look professional. Man, it is wonderful when you have a referee out there who's really, working hard, doing everything they can to be in the right position, communicating with players, keeping things safe, keeping things fair. It is so much more fun to go watch your kid in a game that's being well officiated, when all you need to worry about is the kids or think about the kids and their effort and their abilities, and their ability to execute on the ball, and not just being constantly baffled and frustrated because there's a referee who's, for lack of a better saying here, just picking up a paycheck. I mean, really does not care, is not giving it all, and it's becoming more of an issue than it is than actually the actual game itself. So I consider it a bit of a service to my community. I don't know if anyone interprets like that. I have had a lot of parents come up to me and say, "Man, that was the best ref game we've ever seen." And listen, I love that, but more it's the kids. I want them to have a professional experience. I want them to have a great match. I want them to know that it was their energy and efforts that led to them, winning or losing their game, and their ability to execute and shoot and pass and challenge, in a fair manner. That's what determined the game. It wasn't about the referee. In saying that, so this is my fifth reason. I hate bad refs. So those people who do all those things that I described earlier, that really bothers me. It really, really does. And listen, I don't think anyone's out there trying to not do a great job. But, if no one is providing an example of an alternative, or possibly giving, feedback, if we're on a crew together and they allow me to give, feedback, they won't get better. There are no mentors out at our pitches giving feedback on a regular basis. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. I mean, maybe at State Cup, or if you're one of the very lucky few, the 0.01% that get to go to regionals, then you're getting feedback. You're going to some international or national tournament or some type of high-level ECNL tournament, maybe you're getting a little bit of feedback. But general academy games, certainly not recreational, there's no one giving feedback. So, if there are refs who, don't get any feedback, they don't get any training, don't get any mentoring, they're just going to continue doing what they do. And every year we've got tons of refs who sign up, who, don't get that guidance or don't get that reinforcement, whatnot, and they continue to just put a poor performance out on the pitch, and it's bad for everyone. So, I want them to do better. So the way I help them do better is I show up. And I demonstrate what I think is probably the right behaviors on a pitch. And if I'm on a crew with them, I'll ask them if I can provide some feedback. And hopefully they can take it a step in the right direction. The next one here is by being a referee and being, 48 years old with 3 kids that are still at home. I got 2 high schoolers and 1 middle schooler about to be a high schooler. I want to encourage other people to join up. We are at an outrageous dearth of officials. We have, we've lost like 50% of the certified officials in the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, part of that is due to COVID. Part of that is due to demographics with the size of Generation X being a lot smaller than the baby boomers. But we need people to come on out and join up. And people my age would be great referees. People 40 to 50 years old, you're mature, you're still physically fit, or hopefully physically fit, or you could be physically fit. So I think it's a great time to be a ref. So I want to be out there and I want to demonstrate to other parents who are on the sidelines watching their kids, that maybe it's something that they can do, with their son or daughter, or on their own. It's fantastic. So I want to encourage other people to join up. The next thing is physical fitness. So I am one of those people. I hate to run. And when I say I hate to run, I mean, don't tell me that I need to go run 5 miles. That will, painful. I am not a natural runner. My running style, my gait, I'm pretty heavy on my heels. I am not naturally a fast person. And the idea of like running 5 miles in my neighborhood or running on a treadmill for 5 miles, kill me now. But you put me on a soccer pitch and I got to do 3 games and I run 12 to 15 miles. Like I am like one of the happiest people you'll ever meet. I love it. I'm elated. I'm excited. It's all about, again, losing yourself in the moment, like trying to keep up with those kids on a long switch going back up the other way off a corner kick. And I got to do like a 50 or 60 meter run. Like, yeah, I feel great after that. I'm so proud of myself. I love it. But I'm not thinking about, I just covered, 1 mile. I mean, I'm just, I'm working a game. And so I love that being a referee, challenges me from a physical fitness standpoint. It gives me purpose. So not only, to perform on the pitch on Saturday or Sunday or high school games, which are in the weeknights, that I'm running, but to be able to do that and do it well, I need to be working out almost every day of the week. Right now, I am doing 5 or 6 workouts every single week. I am doing long tempo runs. I'm doing, sprints. I'm doing, strength and conditioning, both upper body, core, lower body, trying to get more explosive so that when I'm on the pitch on the weekend, I could be at my best. So it gives me something to work towards for physical fitness, gives me purpose, and I'm in good shape. Like I feel strong right now. And it's all because I want to be the best referee that I can be. If I didn't have a reffing, and I didn't want to be the best ref that I could be, I just don't know that I'd have the motivation. So for me, it's mental, but it's also physical as well. And so I love, love, love that. Some of the other reasons why I love being a ref, and I know this is going to sound a little bit funny, but grocery money. Every little bit helps. There's nothing wrong with getting paid to be a referee. I'm waking up at 6:30 in the morning on the weekends to be able to get to an 8 o'clock kickoff. I've got to purchase energy drinks or food. I've got equipment that I need to pay for, and then there's my time. That when I'm on the pitch, and yes, I love being on the pitch, but I am away from my family. I could be doing things at home. I could be working on my house. I could be hanging out with my wife and my kids. I could be doing some other projects, and I choose to be a referee. And I'll also tell you too, it's not easy to be a referee. It's, especially, at the higher level, you have invested, very significant time, energy, effort to get to where you are to be able to do these ECNL and MLS Next or, adult amateur games, ADASL or USL2 or UPSL, in my case. And, I should be compensated for that. I should, because you don't want just any hack showing up, who doesn't know the laws and isn't held to a higher standard. So yeah, I like getting paid. It's nice. It's not enough for me to live on. But, when I'm in season, it's enough to pay for groceries for the week. I earn between, $250 to, maybe $300 in one weekend. I'm reffing probably 3 out of 4 weekends. When high school season runs around, it's about $150 to $170 a night for 2 games. That's not bad. I mean, by the end of the month, you're earning, a couple $1,000, which is nice. I mean, that's not chump change. Maybe it's, $1,000 to $2,000, depending on how often I'm reffing. I can't do 6 games every weekend. We have other commitments going on, but, $2,000, in a month, for being a ref. I mean, that's kind of nice. It's a nice little second job. My wife's got a bunch of side gigs as well. She's a cheerleading judge. She's a gymnastics judge. She's got, a couple different businesses, but this is my way of contributing, and it's enough money for us to go on a couple vacations a year and certainly contribute towards, gas bills and, again, food money, our grocery bills. It's nice. I mean, it enables us to live a better life, be able to save more for retirement, to have fun with our family. So yeah, I like getting paid too. It's not a bad thing. When you're a teenager, if you have someone who's 13, 14, 15, in your house, there are very few jobs that they can work out in their local community to get paid a couple $100 on a weekend, and seriously, that they'd even enjoy. Yes. Are there some bad actors out there that make the job not as fun? Maybe it's a really bad coach who's being demonstrative or disrespectful, or maybe it's some parents who are being nasty. There is no doubt. There's no doubt there are those people. Yes. There are certainly those moments in time when I question, what am I doing here? Generally, those times happen when it's like 35 degrees or 40 degrees outside on a rainy night on a high school game, and, and the quality is not, the best. And I'm standing there freezing cold. I'm like, okay, what am I doing? Why am I not home, in my warm bed, laying down, enjoying myself, reading a good book? But I will tell you, those times are far outnumbered by the times that I actually love being there. I would say, 9 times out of 10, if not 95 times out of 100, I finished that game and I am elated. I'm thrilled that we had a good competitive match. I'm, thrilled that people behave themselves, which is wonderful because that's, we should all be respectful to each other. But yes, there are some, bad times as well. But man, that is life. I'm telling you, you are going to come upon people that you're not going to like. You're going to be in situations where you feel intimidated. You're going to deal with rude people. Being a referee is, a microcosm of, society at large. And learning how to deal with that, learning how to, engage with that or decide not to engage with that or how to report it or how to recover from that is great experience for life. And so, that's just, again, a number of the reasons why I love being a ref. I am sure there are many more, but hopefully that just gives you a little insight into why I love being a referee. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. As I've said many times, I am deeply in love with the sport and being a referee. That is not changing anytime soon. I hope you love it as well. If you liked today's pod, please check out my website and merch at refsneedlove2.com. I appreciate your support, and as always, I hope your next game is red card free.